he thought was best.
I understand, and you know, in the time and all that, and then Megyn Kelly misrepresented it, perhaps, and then we took it wrong. Now that more of the story's out, part of the problem was he was looking at his phone. He seemed confused, so it made him look guilty. He needs to come on air and clarify it, and then that's what will reverse all this. So if you can get him to come on via video Skype or tape it, tell him, get it out, explain what happened, don't stumble through it, and then he'll be left alone. He needs to respond to that. Don't you think, Joe?
Yeah, I agree with you completely. I was telling his friend that he needs to come forward at some time, maybe once he calms down.
Absolutely. It'll all blow over. He's going to be fine. But we'll try to clarify that as we get more info. It looks really bad, but perhaps he wasn't getting good audio. Thank you, Joe. Get on that and then pop it anytime you need to. We're going to come back. Ragtag as it is, this is a real threat fusion center where we look at the globalist, we look at government, we look at private individuals. I'm trying to get more analysts, more people in here because it's just overwhelming. It's like we're drinking through straws and they're hitting us with Niagara Falls. You know, about a week ago, this ISIS, or a week and a half ago, this ISIS hit list went out. And it was encrypted. We have a lot of high-level hackers that are friends of the show. We've had a copy of it. Really, no one else has it. It's been expunged. And we have all this national media emailing us. And I think we're going to do a story on this, asking us for the list. And we're not going to put the list out for an obvious reason. Yes, we could publish the list and get millions of viewers to Infowars.com. We're not going to do that. And we're talking, Merkel Phelan that has the list in there, that got it from one of these white hat hackers, he has to explain to the media in emails, stop emailing, don't publish the list if you find it, because the jihadis aren't being directed by a central group. They're like fire ants that go off pheromones. They just go off the movement and copycat events. And so if they get the list, that gives them the imperative to go follow their orders. These are like Fantasyland loons that imagine that they're in Mission Impossible and they get their message that destroys in, 60 seconds. So we have the list. Obviously, law enforcement has it. We've done articles like, hey, there's 8 people on the hit list in Orlando. And then we've tried to point out to law enforcement, hey, have you contacted these folks? And some of the people have not been contacted. So I would think that, and there's about 3,000 people on the list. Some of it's duplicated. So we think about 2,000 names. So that's going on. But it really blows me away. The mainstream media is so stupid that they want to have the list and are saying they want to publish the list. I mean, I'm no rocket scientist when it comes to this stuff, Dr. Steve Pieczenik, but isn't it smart not to release the list?
I think it's very smart. That's one of the reasons why you should remain on the air and not exhaust yourself. One of the reasons why you have become very important, it's not just you, it's the entire Alex Jones group and phenomenon. We shifted the entire narrative, starting with 9/11, to the point where we now can have a real voice, where we can speak with credibility, and the mainstream media has no more credibility. So what you did was to flip the entire system 180 degrees. That's why I keep on coming onto your show, but also I'm concerned about you as a friend, that you not get so excited, because there's so many wars coming in that the American public whom we deal with, the true Americans, need to know they have to be armed, they have to be educated, they have to react and be proactive. And they have. The phenomenon of Trump did not come from mainstream media. It came from you and the millions of others who were disgusted with what happened, including the Democrats, the independents, and many of us who kept fighting for 14 years. You've been fighting for 14 years, day and night. And so you become an asset that's so important. That's why I could call up and talk to your assistants and say, look, this is great what you're doing, but on the other hand, we have to persevere. I
agree, and I wasn't selfish earlier bringing that up, but you are, a smart guy. I've never been more upset at the system, and I try to not get upset. I'm not like, enjoying getting upset. I just physically get upset by all this sometimes.
No, I understand that, Alex, and I understand you're an emotional, exceedingly bright guy. But in reality, we need your energy to continue in a way that's systematic, the way you have your reporters on the ground.
No, I agree. We're trying to do it. I know.
Of course, Boggs was correct. And any one of us who's been in combat, which we have, we knew very well that one person could not have taken out 50 people plus 49 others, 103 people. So there had to be other people involved. Once again, it goes back to home base. We always have to look at home base. At the CIA for recruiting the father, the FBI involved in this absurd investigation, which is a disaster. That means he has to resign. Loretta Lynch has to resign. The people who were hit or hurt have to file suit against G4S because they were responsible for this security guard who had 2 licenses for acquiring armament. So the president was wrong. As usual, he lies. He's a sociopath, and he lied. The Orlando shooter had the right, with 2 licenses, to acquire.
That's right. Hillary's saying we got to pass more laws, make sure they have licenses.
No, that's
this guy
absurd.
jumped through all the hoops.
No, that's absurd. He had the right and legitimacy. Where the problem lies is that the people who were involved and their families should now sue G4S, which is a CIA assistant MI6. It's a disastrous corporation that has over 600,000 mercenaries of the lowest quality. They claim they had evaluated Mateen and they did a psychological operation. Nonsense. That's a lie. They work at the lowest level, at the cheapest level, and if you look at their history, they're continuously merging with other companies because they have a very liquid system in the FTSE or the London Exchange where they just pick up all kinds of junk companies and put them on security. It's an absurd company which has been nothing more than the British, entity that has really failed all over the world and claims that they're premier. They're not premier. And the second part of this is very clear. When the FBI investigates a family, there's no question the father, the wife, and everyone else around them is in collusive element. For them to deny that or not to know that, the FBI has to be reorganized. And
that shows they're trying to cover up the fact that they knew this was coming and basically stood down.
They're incompetent. Forget anything else. They were collusive in 9/11, and they're incompetent now. Either way, they should not exist. Either way, the Secret
All right. Well, Dr. Pieczenik, we're out of time. I want to get you back up in the near future to talk about your book. I've read it.
I want to talk about what's happening because Trump has to understand he has to come in, clean out the government, and put in people who have a history of being effective, not a history of lobbying and working with Republicans. He has to understand his instincts are correct, but he needs to go more effectively against the
All right, well, let's do this. Let's get you up. Let's get you up for 30 minutes, an hour, sometime next week to talk about your advice to Trump. We'll do it then. Thank you, Doctor.
God bless your audience. Bye.
Thank you, Dr. Pieczenik. I would have aired this video days ago, but we have a schedule when we're going to release these Tim Kennedy vignettes, and so we were going to do it tomorrow. But because of, obviously, what happened Saturday night, Sunday morning, we're going to move this up a day and air it now. We're going to post this video to Infowars.com after we premiere it here right now. This is Tim Kennedy, a Special Forces soldier, Delta Force, you name it, warning people that political correctness will kill you and that ISIS attacks are coming. And this was shot back on June 1st. He's saying, get ready. And telling people you have to not follow political correctness. People at his work wouldn't call the police on him because of political correctness. It went on and on and on. So let's go ahead and premiere this piece.
Political correctness these days are getting people killed. Heaven forbid you actually say something that's not politically correct. Then you're a bigot. Then you're a racist. Then you're a misogynist, sexist. Talk about tolerance. Paris, France, one of the most beautiful places on the planet. I think it's like city of romance, music, culture, food, philosophy. And they're tolerant. For years now, a decade, they've been welcoming with open arms the refugees from the Middle East. And while their arms have been opened, and letting these people in, they've been taken advantage of. Now here we are 10 years later. The tolerance that they've demonstrated, you'd think that maybe they would get some form of grace from the extremists. No, they see weakness. They're maybe misunderstanding that this kindness is weakness. And in the instance of France, it was weakness.
All right, we are just getting word now what appears to be a shooting, maybe multiple shootings in the city of Paris. Police officials there say at least 2 are dead from an explosion in a bar near a Paris stadium, and separately a shootout in a Paris restaurant.
The Islamic State has claimed responsibility for the attacks. French President Francois Hollande vowed to use all means necessary inside or outside of the country to defeat the terrorist army.
The scene on the ground across Paris appears to be chaotic, but what we are hearing from a French television network, that network, and this is unconfirmed, are reporting that 18 people are dead.
Europe might be lost because of their tolerance. Tolerance and political correctness, they go hand in hand. You know, they're 2 diseases. They're like a virus that is, like, once it's caught, you just want to stay with it, but slowly it's eroding and killing you. You're going to die. That's what political correctness and tolerance is doing to our society. You know, we're trying to be nice. We don't want to offend anybody. And by doing that, we're getting weaker. Stop being and call things how you see them. You know, we have politicians right now that will say anything to get elected. They'll lie at every opportunity.
Have you always told the truth?
I've always tried to. Always. The Supreme Court is wrong on the Second Amendment, and I am going to make that case every chance I get.
That's the thing about the truth and political correctness. They can't coexist. You either have what's true and what's right, or then you have what's socially acceptable. Those 2 things are exclusive. They can't live together. Believe in the truth, live in the truth, speak the truth, and for sake, just get rid of the political correctness.
Now, we just premiered that video here for the first time. They're about to upload it to YouTube. They're about to put it on our Facebook page. It needs to go viral. But I want to just take this short clip of what I'm about to say right now, live on radio and TV, and put it on the front of the video we're about to upload so you can get it out to your friends, your family, your neighbors, everybody you know. You ready? Here it is. It was June 1st. I'm going from memory here. Teleprompter free, folks. Trying to remember. Yeah, it was June 1st he shot that. It was June 1st, right? Yeah. Okay, here we go. It's Tuesday, June 14th, 2016. 14 days ago, Tim Kennedy, Special Forces soldier, patriot, was here warning us of imminent jihad attacks inside of the United States. And just 12 days later, his warning came true. Here's a video that we weren't going to air until the future in a film that we're producing that you're now going to get a chance to see today when Tim Kennedy issued his warning. Now, some people can say, hey, you know, tell us something we don't know. I understand that. I know you're informed. I know you understand. We have to get this out to our friends and neighbors and community that are in the dark, that are blaming the Second Amendment for the tragic mass murder in Orlando. And Tim Kennedy's warning you to get prepared, get ready, get a firearm, learn to defend yourself because the government isn't going to do it. The SWAT team stood down in Orlando for 3 hours. This is outrageous. Our borders are wide open. They're not even vetting the refugees. This guy's father was a jihadi calling for the death of gays. His imam was. The FBI's hands were tied, and they weren't even allowed to go after these people. That's because of the political control that Islam has directly out of Saudi Arabia and that Wahhabists have bought off our government from Hillary Clinton to Barack Obama to General Petraeus. All right, that's the clip right there. I'm so busy, folks. I just do stuff live on air. Take that clip, kind of edit it down, and I want to throw it right on the front of that video. I want it on Facebook. I want it on Twitter. I want to, because they've got a video feed as well. I want to pump it on every video feed out there. I want it on Paul Watson's Facebook video feed. I mean, we've got all these video feeds that reach millions of people apiece, and we'll only put a